Hello humans, and welcome to another episode of Gen X Gamer. There's another case that has been dismissed against the video game player of the century, Billy Mitchell, and this case was against David Race. There's so many. I tell you guys, when I reflect on this stuff and I'm seeing how much money is being spent, not on video games, right? Just on courtrooms. I'm here for it. Don't get me wrong. And I didn't even know about this case. And Perfect Pac-Man put it up. I was reading it, and I'll link it to the end of the video, right? But basically, the case had to do with Billy Mitchell's, phone calls being recorded without his permission, establishing jurisdiction for that, so on and so forth. Good thing his trial in Australia isn't about him suing people. That's not one of the claims he has, right? He's not claiming defamation over that. He's not claiming defamation over frivolous lawsuits. And that's that case. It's just another video. I just want to focus on this one here. And the amount of wasted money. I mean, the amount of riches that you could have if you would have just took this money and just stashed it in the corner of your room, right? If you just deposited in U.S. bonds, there's so many other uses for this money to what really amounts to wrestling titles. Look, I know there's people out there that take this stuff really seriously, right? But for the rest of the world, that's how we see it. We don't see this. I mean, if your existence in life really has to do with what score you got in a video game, like that's your claim to fame, not that, not your education, not your family, not your values, not how you live your life. No, it's how fast did I beat this game? This is the true measure of a man. Oh man, this is just lunacy, but I love it. I have to say, I love all this crap. I love talking about it. It's like a car accident, right? You can't stop looking away because of all the nuttiness and in this particular case, the planning of this evil plan. Jeez. And you wouldn't have to do any of this stuff, right? You'd have to be conniving behind the scenes to do X, Y, or Z if you weren't in court. Like literally, no one would give a rat's ass. Probably when it comes to controversies or something like that, I think Michael Hearn, the big bodybuilder guy that, obviously, right? Obviously he's on gear, right? The guy is my age and he looks like he's 35 and just has, muscles everywhere, right? You can tell he, has Botox all over his face. But there he is, and he kind of leans into it. He says, yeah, sure, why not? Whatever I take, but whatever. And, they're accusing him of something illegal. They're basically accusing him of cheating in the nutrition sports, right? But he's not out there suing anybody because they're claiming he's on steroids because, it's obvious, right? He's not going to take a test to do this, right? So you can still be famous. Like, you can navigate both waters. You could be, the bad boy of a certain industry without, suing people, without being into court, without wasting all this money. But then if he did that, then what the hell would I talk about? No, let's keep it this way. Let's keep it this way, right? So guys, look, I'll play the audio for the article for those of you who haven't read it, so you can see the details of the case and why it was dismissed, right? And on the next video, I'm going to talk about Carl's case and what I think is going on. All right, guys, thank you for joining me. Make sure to subscribe. Most people watching this videos aren't subscribing. I need it, babe. I'm a monetized channel. I need it, baby. Go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe, and let's keep it going.
Billy Mitchell versus David Race, case dismissed. As a general rule, which I've broken before, I try to keep this blog from being just a series of quick news updates, as opposed to deeper dives getting into the nitty-gritty of these topics. But today's news is too awesome not to share right away. That's right, notorious video game cheater Billy Mitchell has just lost another lawsuit. This time, we're talking about Billy's frivolous lawsuit against Pac-Man champion David Race. I haven't done a full breakdown of this lawsuit before now, relying on brief updates here and there. Ostensibly, this case was about phone calls David recorded while David was in Ohio, where it's perfectly legal to record one's own calls without the consent or knowledge of the other party. You may recall, David was previously a member of Team Billy, and assisted with Billy's defense against the cheating allegations before David realized what a massive liar Billy had been all along. This ultimately led to David releasing some of his saved phone recordings, including the one exposing Billy's wacky plot to present fake evidence for one of his contested Donkey Kong scores. Of course, when I said this case was ostensibly about phone recordings, what I mean is that this was really about Billy seeking revenge against David for switching sides and providing evidence for twin galaxies, with the matter of recording law being Billy's opportunity to subject David to litigious harassment. The judge at the lower level ruled in favor of Billy, allowing the case to proceed under Florida's jurisdiction. In other words, Billy could sue David in Florida for allegedly violating Florida law while being in and residing in Ohio. This opened up a number of possibilities, including full discovery and depositions and such. But that process was halted by an appeal, which David won. The appeals court ruled Florida did not have jurisdiction to try David in Florida for his actions out of state. But of course, it didn't end there. Billy appealed that ruling to the Florida State Supreme Court, leaving us waiting for another court decision for over a year. https://perfectpacman.com/wp-content/upload/2024/11-07-court-Florida-Supreme-Court-decision.pdf. This morning, that decision finally came down. You can read the whole ruling for yourself at the above link. There seems to have been a legal snafu in the way the case was brought to the Florida Supreme Court, where the circuit court presented an argument about one issue, but the appeals court settled something different. I'll do my best to break all that down later. But the important passages are these. We initially accepted jurisdiction to review the decision of the 4th District Court of Appeal in Race v. Mitchell, 357 So. 3D 720, FLA 4th DCA 2023, based on a certified conflict. See Art. V. Section 3, B, 4, FLA constant, see also FLA R, App P, 9.030, A, 2, A, 6. After further consideration, and for the reasons that follow, we conclude that jurisdiction was improvidently granted. We therefore exercise our discretion, discharge jurisdiction, and dismiss this proceeding. After describing the particulars of these legal conflicts, the author, along with concurrence of the rest of the court, reiterated their order to dismiss Billy's lawsuit. In the end, while this case presents many interesting issues, we conclude those issues are largely academic in the context of the unique procedural history of this case. As a result, we exercise our discretion, discharge jurisdiction, and dismiss this proceeding. It is so ordered. Oh, and don't miss this little bit at the end. No motion for rehearing will be allowed. In other words, no court in Florida is going to save Billy on this one. I can't tell you at this particular moment what options Billy may or may not have to appeal this ruling to an even higher court, assuming Billy could even afford such an appeal financially, but such a court would have to be on the federal level. Since federal law recognizes David's right to record his phone calls without Billy's consent, it seems highly unlikely Billy will get any more traction on this case. And as if this wasn't bad enough for Team Billy, we got this sweet, succinct ruling on Billy's request for attorney fees as well. Petitioner's motion for attorney's fees is hereby denied. https://perfectpacman.com/wp-content/upload/2024/11/07-court-ruling-versus-david-2024-11-07-fees.pdf. Again, I'll do a full postmortem on this case front to back, as soon as I feel like that would be more fun than catching up on Mega Man, lol. No, seriously though, I will. But since I have the option to get this immediate news out right away, I'll take the time to do that complete overview right. And I'll attempt to tease apart the legal minutiae behind this ruling as best I can. Either way, this is fantastic news. And this means Billy's lawsuit against Carl Jobst in Australia is the final Billy Mitchell lawsuit on the current docket. There may actually be an end to this nonsense. We can hope.
New videos every Monday and Sunday. Thank you for joining me on another episode of the Gen X Gamer. Remember to like and subscribe, click that notification bell, and remember, never ever be afraid to be happy. I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.